Hello and happy Thriving Thursday. Today let's talk about home surveillance during showings. It seems like nearly everyone has a camera in their house these days, whether it's a video doorbell on the front porch or a camera in the home. The question comes up often if the seller can record and or watch the buyers during a showing. While surveillance laws vary from state to state, in Michigan the statute does not prohibit a seller from using video recording to monitor their home during showings. The statutory prohibition does not prohibit security monitoring in a residence if conducted by or at the direction of the owners of that residence, unless conducted for lewd or lascivious purposes. So it seems video is okay, but what about audio? A separate section of the Michigan Penal Code prohibits using a device to eavesdrop on a private conversation unless the parties consent. So eavesdrop is currently defined by statute and means to overhear, record, amplify, or transmit any part of the private discourse of others without the permission of all persons engaged in the discourse. So the Michigan courts have reviewed this definition and concluded that because the law speaks to the private discourse of others, it is not illegal to audio record a conversation if at least one of the parties to the conversation consents. So under this section of the Penal Code, it would appear that a seller cannot audio record a showing in their own home without the consent of the attendees, because they're not conversing with them. Keep in mind that this statutory provision requires a consent, like signing a form, and not just disclosure of the fact that the home has audio surveillance. As a best practice, buyer's agents should instruct their buyer clients to act as if they're always being recorded when they're touring a seller's home. So I always tell my buyers to just assume that we're being listened to, and we can always talk about the house after we leave, and we leave the vicinity of the video doorbell audio as well. So listing agents should also advise their clients that it is illegal to use any audio device during a showing. Sellers should also be advised that while Michigan law generally permits video surveillance of one's own home for security purposes without disclosure, the best thing to do is to post video surveillance in use in the comment section of the MLS, and then also to leave a sign at the property when they enter as well. So Michigan Realtors plans on pursuing legislation that would clearly state, in the case of real estate showing, audio and or video monitoring is allowed in a residence if conducted by or at the direction of the owner or principal occupant of that residence, unless conducted for a lewd or lascivious purpose. So this change would ensure that no seller would be held liable for knowingly or unknowingly recording potential buyers and their agents. Further, this change would harmonize audio surveillance with the existing home security exception that is already established for video surveillance. So that's yet to come. So my source today was the Michigan Realtors Letter of the Law, March 2019, and the Michigan Realtors Magazine from September 2019. So I also called the legal hotline today to verify that no changes have been made to the law since these publications. They are working towards allowing audio. So as always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me, but continue to practice kindness out there. Have a wonderful, thriving Thursday and a beautiful weekend.